Welcome to Preventing Contamination from Hands. These general guidelines for applying the rules and regulations governing retail food establishments in the state of Iowa are provided by the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals. Although hand washing is critical for food safety, recent studies indicate that hand washing alone is not enough to prevent foodborne illnesses that are transmitted through food. The main reason for not touching ready-to-eat foods with bare hands is to prevent viruses and bacteria from contaminating the food. Viruses and bacteria may be present in your body even after washing your hands. Viruses and bacteria are not visible to the naked eye, but may be present on your hands if you do not wash them thoroughly, particularly after using the restroom. The FDA Food Code prohibits bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods and requires good hand washing by food service workers. How can we prevent food contamination? You can minimize contamination to your customers by washing your hands, being very careful not to cross-contaminate food, not contacting ready-to-eat foods with bare hands, and by maintaining a high level of personal hygiene. Simply being aware of the potential dangers and attempting to minimize them is a very large step in the right direction. What kinds of foods are considered ready to eat and may not be touched with bare hands? Ready-to-eat foods include prepared fresh fruits and vegetables served raw, cold meats and sandwiches, any food that will not be thoroughly cooked or reheated after it is prepared. This includes ice, salads and salad ingredients, shredded cheese, avocado, lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes, as in a Mexican restaurant, garnishes such as lettuce, parsley, lemon wedges, potato chips, or pickles, fruit and vegetables for mixed drinks during preparation activities, bread, toast, rolls, baked goods, and tortillas. Bare hand contact is allowed for foods which will be cooked, such as pizza toppings, raw meats, and ingredients for recipes prior to cooking. How can I prepare or serve ready-to-eat food while avoiding contact with my bare hands? Utensils have broader use than just cooking to prevent contact with food. Use utensils to handle food when possible. Use gloves when utensils do not work well with certain activities or foods. There are many types of utensils and gloves. Work with a food service supply company to find the best solution. You may use any of the following utensils to prepare or serve foods without bare hand contact: tongs, forks and spoons, deli paper, disposable gloves, scoops, and spatulas. Am I required to wear disposable sanitary gloves? No. The regulation does not require gloves to be worn, but does require that ready-to-eat food and drinks be prepared and served without bare hand contact. Wearing disposable sanitary gloves is one of several acceptable ways to comply with the regulation. Remember that gloves are just an extension of your hands. If the glove becomes soiled, they can pass contamination just as easily as unclean hands. When do I have to replace or change gloves? Always change gloves if the gloves are ripped, torn, or contaminated. Contamination can occur after touching a computer screen or handling money. Change gloves after touching face or hair, coughing, sneezing, and preparing raw foods. You should always remove your gloves before you leave your station and then wash your hands. Food employee hands must be washed and dried thoroughly before putting on new gloves. What is the right way to change gloves? Remove and throw away the old gloves. Thoroughly wash and dry your hands. Put on a clean, fresh pair of gloves without touching anything. Is a short order cook required to wear gloves? The short order cook may not touch ready-to-eat foods with bare hands. Disposable gloves are only one possible way to prevent bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. Many find it faster, easier, and more convenient using utensils such as forks, tongs, or spatulas to prevent bare hand contact, or splitting tasks between more than one individual where possible, or dividing foods in portions for consumers prior to service. Are there concerns about use of gloves and latex allergy? Food establishment employees who repeatedly use latex gloves may be at risk of developing sensitivity to latex. Allergens from the gloves could be transferred to the food and may cause a reaction in allergic individuals. Gloves come in many shapes and sizes. Work with your supplier to find gloves that will fit the workers and the task in your establishments. Good substitutes for latex gloves are available and include vinyl, nitrile, polyvinyl, chloroprene or polyethylene gloves, deli tissues, and tongs. What should I do with a ready-to-eat food item if it was touched with bare hands? You can either heat the food thoroughly to the temperature required for cooking or reheating, or discard the food if it was touched with bare hands. Where can I learn more about hand washing and bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods? Your local health department can answer questions or give you more information about hand washing, bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods, and additional important information on preventing foodborne illnesses. Reference the current FDA food code or contact your local health inspector with any questions regarding food safety practices or procedures. And for additional resources, contact the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals at 515-281-6538 or www.dia.iowa.gov. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is another information resource. Their website is www.fda.gov. Before we finish, let's see what you learned. True or false? Food employees do not need to wash hands when changing gloves. False. It is important to wash your hands between changing gloves to avoid cross-contamination from old gloves to new gloves. True or false? Cooks can safely avoid bare hand contact by carefully using utensils such as tongs without gloves. True. Bare hand contact can be safely avoided by using utensils, wax paper, deli tissue, or gloves. True or false? Bare hand contact is not allowed with ready-to-eat foods, including garnishes such as chips, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, avocado, or croutons. True. Also, bare hand contact is not allowed for drink garnishes such as lemon for iced tea and lime wedges for cocktails. Thank you for watching Preventing Contamination from Hands. You should review this video as needed.